Today, it's Child in Time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Nick Foley UK. I want to apologise for last week because I accidentally broke my very tiny portion of the internet by doing a breakdown of the song Burn by Deep Purple. I was really pleased with the way it came out and with your comments too. I had a lot of interesting comments, constructive comments, and some suggestions really for what we could do another time. I'm going to collate all of those actually, and I'm going to do them hopefully through this series, and maybe even a little bit of a Q&A on some bits and bobs that I've been asked throughout the weeks. Today then, I thought I'd have a look at Child in Time. A lot of people have asked for this one. In fact, just the other day I was showing someone how I played it, and it was very fortuitous that timing that I thought, okay, maybe we should do this one as well. So here we go, we're going to have a go at it. There's a few things I want to talk about before we start. First of all, this is my interpretation of it. I know there's sheet music out there, and I know some of the sheet music is not entirely correct. However, I'm not saying that everything I do is entirely correct. It's the way I do it, and I get away with it. It sounds about right. So, a couple of things to explain on the C at the moment. I've got my lovely overdrive circuit switched off. Okay, there's no real need for this intro. When Jon Lord played it, he was still rammed up through his Leslie 1, 2, 2. There's no doubt about that. Or even when Made in Japan, he was through excuse me, through his Marshalls or high watt, whatever he was using at the time, but backed right off. For this, I'm taking overdrive fully off because it's not really part of the tone or the sound, I don't think. So I'm backed off. I'm playing it dry. When I put it through, when you hear it, I'll find some reverb to put it through to make it sound a little bit like the sound on the record. So I've got there, you can see down there, oh, you can't see down there. Oh, if you could see all the way down there, you'd see that I've got the volume set to soft and I'm backed off a little bit. Many discussions about drawbar settings. Here's the settings I'm going to use. I think recorded possibly was a bit less violent than that. I know Jon always favoured dropping in that one just a little bit more to 7, you see, so I'm on 8, 7, 8, 7, and then all off there. And also the left hand would have been if you're up here, yeah, the left hand would have been a little less than that, for sure. But I want to get across the beat, because as with all Deep Purple and Jon Lord, it's all about swing, I think, and shuffle with Deep Purple and Jon Lord. If you're not swinging yourself, the main question you need to ask yourself is, why am I swinging myself? Okay, so we'll get onto that in a bit, but it's all pushes and pulls. I once played in a band that wanted straight fours on the hats. Totally threw me, and I couldn't figure out why. And then later on, it came to me why it was throwing me, because it's all pushing and pulling off and on the beat, which is why Ian Pace does a lot. He actually plays a lot of the rhythm, doesn't he? Well, he plays the rhythm, brilliant. He's a drummer, but you know, he plays a lot of the organ part, the ding, 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 and all that kind of stuff on the top, and that makes it a lot easier for organ players to play. So if you are playing in a band and the drummer's just running a hat and everyone's following that, kind of keeping the time on that hat, that might be putting you off. If you're finding it difficult, then that could be the reason for it. So where did we get to? We got to drawbars. There we go. These are a little bit too much. Percussion's really important in this one. Everyone's got an opinion on this. It's how it sounds. It's how it sounds to you at the end of the day. What I'm doing is percussion on, volume normal, decay, slow, and then third. That's what I'm doing. Try it out. Whatever sounds best. Whatever sounds best to you. Right, so that gives us this kind of sound, which is lovely. Sounds great here. When I put that reverb on, it will sound completely different. But, you know, we're in A minor. We're in A minor. Beautiful. We're also kind of in a harmonic minor, aren't we? When you hear that harmonic minor, that Egyptian sound, perhaps Hungarian, I think of it, but Jon Lord used it a lot. Richie Blackmore used it a lot, but you'll hear it come in a bit later on, and we'll go into that. Okay, maybe I'll play the whole thing through in real time, and then we'll cut it back. How's that sound? Okay, so there's the first part through. The second part's slightly different, come to that in a bit. Important to note that Jon Lord never, ever played it the same twice. There were 3 or 4 takes in the studio in 1969, early 70, and this was the one that sounded the best, and this is the one they used. But he never played it again the same. We've all learnt it that way because it's the classic version. There is the Made in Japan version, which is also superb. Okay, let's have a go. Left hand, oh, can you see it down there? Yeah, of course you can. You're just going to G to A, then F to G, and then G to A. That's all that's doing over there. It is part of the sound, actually. You know, you could say, I'll let the bass player do it. You can let the bass player do it, and you follow the right hand. But I find that the push and the pull, you know, I was talking about the swing and the bounce, for me works off that. So that's why I use the left hand. I'll use it here anyway. Right, so remember the percussion cancelling, right? Do you know about the percussion cancelling? So percussion, beautiful. But if you've got a note down, no percussion. And that will come into play because he doesn't strike the percussion every time. And there's a way of doing that. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Okay, there we go. Strapped in. Good. Right. Okay. Now we'll do that. I don't know if that's still running or not. I hope so. We'll do that again, and then we'll speed up. And there's some little flourishes that can go in there. Okay, you're going to get that. It's down the A minor. I've kept my finger out of the way. Hopefully that's okay for you. A little bit more flourishy. Can you feel the push and pull starting now, the swing? I can just feel it pushing and pulling, and for me that's when it works for me. Okay, so we've done the first bit. I'll go into the second bit. Right, so we're in fourths now, and we're going to do a trigger thing as well. So. Is that okay for you, yeah? Slide off that. Now, you know we were talking about the percussion triggering. First one I trigger, I slide the other one. If you move from that to that quickly, without a gap, here the percussion doesn't go. Not saying it's 100% correct, but that's how I do it. I think it adds a little bit more light. Okay, how do you feel about that one? Okay. Okay, so there's the harmonic minor we're talking about. Let's break that down a little bit. So. Okay, how do we feel about that? Yeah, so we go for. That section took me ages to get right. I don't know why. It's because there's that little pause on the, and you've got to get the pause right because you need to come back into the that kind of push-pull thing that's going on. So, flourish. That's it. Yeah. Glitter. How do you feel about that bit? Is that okay? So. Oh, did I? I might have done. Just add a little trill as it's coming down, yeah? Now we know we've got to end up at the top here, so we've got to get up to the top, haven't we? Right. Triplets. You try tapping your foot as you go into it, you'll feel it bounce. Can you feel how it comes on and off all the time? And the hi-hat just drives me crazy. Okay, so let's go through that bit, shall we? How do we get to it? See how that's following the F shape there as the left hand goes down to the F G? Yep. So the run's up A minor, if you've noticed, yeah? Here it comes. A minor. Triplet, then the F and the G. I've seen some people give it the, which is nice, you know, but now as your hands are there, what Jon did was he had that idea about the fourths again. He did the fourths earlier on, if you remember, and well, his fingers on the G, so he could going to go to there. Easy to get confused because the first time you do fourths, he's doing on an E. Second time you do them, you're doing them on a D and a G, right? Bass notes. Okay. All right, this is awkward, isn't it? And also the triggering again, yeah? It's hard to do, slow down, I've tried it. Basically, you're going up tones. Okay, is that all right? Now there's a bit of a chord there. There's a sustain note. It might be. But I think live, I don't play that because it just clouds it a little bit, and it's an iconic da 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 da, you know, and then that signal, and he doesn't play the first, right? Which I picked up on that a while ago because it's quite difficult to go. And then the song progresses, right? And I don't think there are any thirds in there for a while. I've seen people doing straight away. Not quite, it's a bit too churchy. I've also seen Jon live giving it the left hand there. See that? Yeah. Yeah. As the song builds up and progresses, I don't tend to do that, I have to say, because our bass player and the depth of the bass sound that he's got, I don't really need to do that to get it as authentic as I'm trying to get it. So, and you know, the song progresses. I'm not going to go too far into that part of the song, but the third does appear. It gets loud. I think the percussion goes off. The drawbars come out, and it starts to get a bit lovely and a bit dirty, and it's going up the inversion and all the way up. Okay, so then we've got that diddly 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 diddly, which I don't play, right? You know, it's just a. I learnt that in 1983, 84, and I've learnt it so heavy in my head that I don't even know if it's right, and I don't even know if I can play it right. But the point comes across, the guitar comes in with it, and then the diddly 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 diddly, and then there's a pause, and that's when the second part of the song comes in. Live, we do a 2 count because that's where it is in the bar, it feels, and we start again. So here we go, we're starting again. Jon's improvising in the studio. One of his takes is this. The way I remember the difference between the two is after the solo, there's a 1 beat and a pause. And in my brain, I can get that because it does actually repeat some of little bits of the first half. So just take your time. Don't worry about the fact that it might be hard to remember the bits, right? So. Right, good luck everyone. So so there's a little bit of a gap. That's how I remember it. So I've overplayed that gap there, but that's it. Off the beat, isn't it? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, shall we do that bit there? Shall we just go on that bit? Okay. One gap. That's all we're doing there. You can hear my C3 got a bit of a trigger issue, the contact issue there. Needs a buzz bar shift. That's the bit we played earlier, haven't we? Okay. Okay, so you've got that motif goes twice. Goes down there as well. A bit from the first part. And then a little bit of a run. Put all the bits together. One more time. How do we feel about that? That's okay, isn't it? And just repeat. I'm not sure what the best strategy is, whether you want to learn the first half perfectly and then the second half perfectly, or just run through the song and keep learning it. I did have trouble. I did confuse the two parts for a while. Actually, I was more worried I was going to get it wrong than I got it wrong, but you know. Right, I'll do that bit and then we'll go on to the naughty bit. It's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? It's about double striking, finger and the thumb. Okay. Da-da. You're creating that chord with there. There, yeah. Okay, that run is up in A minor. Are we talking about that triggering again? Some of the triggers of the percussion are happening, some aren't, yeah? See how you be legato, don't play, staccato, yeah, jerky they play, smooth they don't, because you're overlapping the fingers, okay? Got my left hand a bit wrong there, but I always do on that bit. I don't know why. The run seems a bit complicated, but goes past the bar a bit, doesn't it? Right. And then you're into the song. So on that run, some of it's triggered. You You hear it? That kind of thing. You can do that later. I mean, the important thing is the motif, right? Which is that bit. It's just a trill. You remember Richard Blackmore used it a lot? I remember it being on California Jam a lot, and he was tuning up to it as well because it wasn't his guitar wasn't in tune. But I use that a lot actually. It's quite nice in a harmonic minor as well. And there you are, and then you're into the song. A couple of embellishes I do, you don't have to, they're not on the record, and it is about the song after all, but a nice little one. Just a nice one that brings you back from the A to the G, and as it's going down to the G, you're doing the embellishment. That's basically it. There's some chromatic bits at the end. But it's all ad-lib, you know. It's all ad-lib. Depends what your guitar player is going to do because it might be different. But gaps. I noticed on Made in Japan actually, he does there's a bit more really dirty, overdriven. Different sound, different time, isn't it? But you know, that's the overdriven sound anyway. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this small tutorial. It's how I play it. Like I say, pretty close in places, I reckon. See how you get on. Let me know if there are any differences, anything I'm doing wrong. I'm always learning, so let me know that too. Let me know if there's any other songs you want me to have a look at as well in this canon, I would imagine. And it's been a little bit of a tricky morning with some technical difficulties. I'm going to piece them all together on a good day. You won't even know they've happened, right? So fingers crossed. Let's see how that goes. I hope this turns out well, and I hope it's what you were after. Hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe. It makes a big difference to me and my channel. I'm really glad and happy when you do that. So thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, however much there is left of it. And good chance I'll see you next weekend. See you later. Thank you.